Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. So, I'm going to start with my pre-workout meal, also my breakfast. Let me show you what I'm going to be eating. So, it's going to be oatmeal with chocolate protein powder, whey protein powder, water, hot water, and a bunch of bananas. Obviously, I mixed everything up. So the amount of oats I added is 350 grams of oats and 200 grams of the whey protein powder. It's not isolated, by the way. And that's what I'm going to be eating. The only thing I didn't really measure was the bananas, but just 2 large bananas. That's what I'm going to be eating. Mix it a little bit more. And yeah, let's eat now. Because I'm hungry and I want to talk about my training and also what I'll be training today. So I really want to focus on building like bigger biceps, bigger chest. Also improve my abs, obviously. Just improve basically everything, like every muscle. But especially the biceps and triceps too, just arms. I would say a very big goal that I have. So I probably prioritize arm training. Here's what I'm going to do. I'll probably train like arms twice a week. Maybe sometimes I might experiment with like training arms like 3 times a week. Obviously with probably 2 days of rest in between my workouts. Because I'll keep my volume fairly high. Weekly volume is going to be fairly high, so I have to give my muscles enough time to actually recover from that workout. So this time I'll try to balance like both training and recovery. Because I believe that recovery is very important. And we have to actually treat recovery with way more respect. Because that's when we actually grow. We recover from our workout and we can actually build more muscle on our next workout. And if you're not like close to 100% recovered, your training performance is going to suffer and you won't really like stimulate muscle growth in that next workout. So that's why I decided to actually treat my recovery with more respect. Because in the past, for some muscle groups, I used to train them like every other day with a lot of volume, and I just never let them recover, like rest. And not only that, they're not really going to grow that fast when they're not recovered. They're also, it might lead to overuse. It's going to lead to overuse, and overuse is not fun. Believe me, overuse is not fun and something that I want to avoid. So probably twice a week and around 10 to 12 sets in a workout. Maybe even less. Again, I have to experiment with different volumes, see what feels best, see how I can actually progress faster. Because I've reached a point where my progress slowed down so much where I'm actually can't really increase the weights that much anymore. Especially for biceps, I can progress, but they're getting bigger, so I'm not getting stronger, but my biceps are growing, so what's happening? I don't get it. So maybe for biceps, I'm not going to care too much about I'm not going to care too much about like the weight. You know, I'm going to keep tension, but I'm not going to add more weight, basically. I don't know why. I used to be stronger, like last summer. I used to be stronger on curls. I don't know what happened, to be honest. I was also a lot leaner. So again, it just doesn't make sense because my arms are now bigger. Maybe I have more muscle, but just being staying so lean all the time, being dry, I looked maybe kind of fat and small looking, but I don't get it. Or maybe I'm just undercovered now. But I'm just going to do my 8 to 12 sets in a workout twice a week and see how I progress. There's going to be between 16 to 24 sets in a week with plenty of rest in between my workouts. But on average 18 to 20 sets is what I'm going for. 18 to 20 sets of both curls and extensions. Just of that volume is going to be from purely the isolation exercises. Isolation for triceps, I might do something different. I might play a little bit with the close grip flat bench press. Maybe I might benefit. But again, the weights used on the bench press might it's just hard to recover from very heavy weights. That's just my experience. They don't hurt my elbows, it's just overuse. So I have to be careful with the weights that I'm using. That's why I like doing like at least 10 reps, but mostly it's the 12 reps per set that I like so much. 12 reps. I need to add some more liquid there. It's still dry, too thick. And yeah, I just play with my volume. Frequency, again, I want to give my muscles enough time to recover. That's something that I neglected in the past, and now I regret that, so I'm really going to focus on that. About chest, right now I started doing the more medium grip quad bench press because it's actually the best grip for chest gains, recruiting the chest fibers. And to be honest, after only one workout, my chest just got bigger, and it's kind of crazy, but it's true. And I didn't increase the weight or anything like that. Mm, I get bigger without actually getting stronger, and that doesn't make sense. So, like, it doesn't make sense. Maybe I was bigger like months ago, but like in terms of muscle, just muscle mass. But now that I'm not staying that lean anymore, I'm not shredded. I used to be like 9-10% body fat. And right now like I'm like 12-13% right now, so I don't know. Maybe it's just the water and glycogen under the muscle that's making me bigger because I'm eating a lot of carbs. I don't like being hungry anymore. And I just like the size. I will be honest, I like the size. But something else too. I was more serious with my abs training like last summer. Right now I skip a lot of like ab workouts. I skip a lot of that, and I'll probably go back into serious ab workouts. Yeah, I can't do that. It's still dry. I was able to eat my bananas, but I don't like it. But yeah, I'll probably keep slow bulking, and I feel like I need just a little bit more size. Just a little bit more, and my progress is so slow that just doesn't make sense to fast bulk. I I don't really benefit from fast bulking. I used to do that in the past, but I was like 65 kg, 70, like 140, 150 pounds, 160. So in a way, mm, you can get away with that. When you're that skinny, you can get away with that. But when you're very close to your like limit, you're not really gaining more muscle. So yeah, that's the end of my first meal. I need to add some more liquid. It's too like dry. I don't really enjoy that. Let me show you. Too dry. I don't like it like this. Welcome to my workout. I'm going to start with biceps. My first exercise is going to be dumbbell curls. The way that I'll be using is 12.5 kilograms per hand. Now for this exercise you want to keep your elbows still and tight, like in a fixed position, and only your forearms are going to be moving. You're not going to do this. You're doing a very strict movement and you're only working the biceps this way. We're not trying to target different muscle groups with a curl. So let's start with the first set. Again, I usually take my sets to failure on curls. Again, elbows in a fixed position. Let's start. 4 range of motion. Okay, 11 reps. Second exercise for biceps is going to be single arm dumbbell curls. So I'm going to start with my left arm, for example. First do my curls again, just like standard dumbbell curl, and then I move on to my right arm again, do my curls, and basically this is the exercise. I need to lower the weight. I'm way too weak. At least my left biceps is a lot weaker. Third exercise now is going to be dumbbell curls again, but the only difference is that I lowered the weight from 12.5 kilograms to 10 kilograms. So a lot of people, they don't really play with different rep ranges. I believe this is a big mistake, so that's why I lowered the weight so I can do higher reps. Again, that's a different kind of training, because training with different rep ranges leads to more gains. And no, the higher reps, they're not going to work more slow twitch muscle fibers. Usually, slow twitch muscle fibers are worked at the beginning of the set. Unless it's a very heavy set, then the fast twitch muscle fibers are activated from the start. but the difference is that you're using a very heavy weight, so it's probably your 5 rep max. So that's why the fast twitch muscle fibers are activated at the start of your set. And when you're using a lighter weight, usually you need to take the set very close to failure to really get these fast twitch muscle fibers. So let's start. I'm going for higher reps, different kind of stimulus, so yeah. And I'm sorry that I can't always pronounce the correct, like the words the correct way. Like stimulus, for example, stimulus. Okay, stimulation, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. Again, elbows in fixed position for maximum stimulation, and yeah. Time to work the biceps. Stimulus. At the end of the set, you can involve a little bit of shoulder flexion. I can't. For some reason I'm weak today. I don't know why. Makes zero sense. I need to carb up. Moving on to triceps, it's time for my triceps exercises. So the first one, I'm going to be doing the dumbbell head extensions, standing. One of the best triceps exercises, seriously, because of the very clean range of motion for the triceps and just very strict movement. To be honest, there's no way to actually cheat on this exercise. That's why I like this exercise so much. So yeah, I'll be lifting, I believe that's 17.5 kg. Whatever. Let's see how many I can complete. Okay, I'll keep using that weight. And also building bigger triceps. It's also going to help with your bench press. Second exercise, 4 triceps, barbell head extensions with 40 kilograms. Again, a nice, just short width grip, and the cool thing about this exercise is that you can like move your grip like wider and more narrow, so maybe it's a very good idea to rotate through different grips on this exercise. Usually This exercise it's harder to keep your elbows like in a fixed position, so a little bit of shoulder elbow involvement is fine, but try to actually use your forearms only to move. And my final exercise for triceps, lying dumbbell extensions on a flat bench. Again, great exercise. I just like to do different exercises. Obviously all of them are going to impact your muscle growth in a different way. It's going to impact your strength development in a different way, because every exercise has its own unique benefits, very unique range of motion. Even if it's like the same exercise, just like for biceps for example, it's basically an elbow flexion, just a curl, right? But even when you change a very small thing about certain exercise, it can make a big difference. And I want to be strong like all around, like through different ranges of motion. Just something very important for me. Keep the elbows still. Again, we're just trying to do high quality volume, very close to failure, and that's how we're going to build all of muscle mass.